they would have had a whole new set of questions.
Hashtag we are watching Crime Watch Daily.
Lamar Munson speaks from prison and relives the worst day of his life.
It was like a horror movie.
Oh my gosh, this one. Oh.
Jane likes to mix things up. That's why she loves the new Light and Fit Greek non-fat yogurt and mousse. So fluffy and airy. It's her new 80-calorie
Every time we will get you bad guys. Every time we have to.
No
Day
two
in,
allergy
day out,
days feel the same. With Nasacort, even on your worst days, relief can be yours. Unlike antihistamines that target only one cause of your nasal allergy symptoms, Nasacort stops more to relieve your worst nasal allergy symptoms, even congestion. Nasacort.
Type 2 diabetes doesn't care who you are, man,
woman,
or where you're from.
City.
country.
We're just everyday people fighting high blood sugar.
Farxiga, they help in that fight every day. Along with diet and exercise, Farxiga helps lower blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes. 1 pill a day helps lower your A1C. And although it's not a weight loss or blood pressure drug, Farxiga may help you lose weight and may even lower blood pressure when used with certain diabetes medicines. Do not take if allergic to Farxiga or its ingredients. Symptoms of a serious allergic reaction include rash, swelling, or difficulty breathing or swallowing. If you have any of these symptoms, stop taking Farxiga and seek medical help right away. Do not take Farxiga if you have severe kidney problems, are on dialysis, or have bladder cancer. Tell your doctor right away if you have blood or red color in your urine or pain while you urinate. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast infections, and low blood sugar, increased bad cholesterol. Common side effects include urinary tract infections, changes in urination, and runny nose.
Farxiga.
We are everyday people.
Everyday people.
See your doctor if Farxiga is your
I'll leave that to you guys. I'll take the bigger job.
To learn how to get it for free.
I heard that he was writing a journal about capturing girls and keeping them as sex slaves.
Disturbing details.
We actually found a large duffel bag in his closet full of women's fantasies.
Friendship that ends in murder.
Fantasies and life of sexual fantasies. That makes kind of a dangerous combination.
Crime Watch Daily. Tomorrow.
Hello,
Right now in
Todd.
America, the Innocence Project reports
Todd.
that at least 20,000 people are
Still
behind bars,
talking?
convicted of crimes they did not commit. And the family of
Maybe
Lamar
stop talking.
Munson says he is one of them. Our Andrea Ison is here with more on their fight to free him.
Matt Lamar's family does not dispute for a second that he was caught up in a very bad scene, doing drugs and selling them. But murder, that was something he was just not capable of doing. And they say they now have the proof. Lamar Munson has spent the last 7,342 days waking up behind bars, asking the same question, why am I here? For 20 years, he's been in prison for a murder he says he didn't commit.
They escorted us to the police car and went downtown for questioning as witnesses.
But Lamar was convicted of killing Christina Brown, who was just 12 years old. Christina, a lost child, lived in Lamar's apartment building. He'll never forget the day he found her body.
Once I made it to the bathroom, it was like a horror movie. I just was in complete shock. I seen her laying on the floor. She was still alive. She was waving her arms at me, and I immediately turned to have somebody go and call the EMS.
Lamar Munson said he thought he was being hauled into the police precinct as a witness. Then he realized he was a suspect.
They began to tell the story instead of me telling them what I knew. I agreed to sign at that point reluctantly.
Are you telling me that you did not read the document that you signed that sent you to prison for 30 to 50 years?
Yes, sir. The situation was at this time I was not thinking right at all.
How would you categorize how you were handled by the Detroit police?
Well, I would say that they viewed me just simply as expendable for the purposes of conviction.
Investigative reporter Bill Proctor covered the story 20 years ago while on the crime beat in Detroit.
Wow.
Back then, this was just another story. Now Proctor is on a mission to find justice.
Yeah, maybe retired. but I can't stop.
Proctor has since
Love
retired
it.
his press card.
I love that.
But not
Love it,
his
love it, love it.
reporter's instincts.
Yes.
He now believes in Lamar Munson's innocence. He changed his mind because of this woman, Shalina Bentley. She claims her drug buddy back then, Robert Lewis, is the one who killed Christina.
They just felt like that boy did it, and he didn't do it.
Shalina says fear kept her silent. She claims Robert Lewis threatened to kill her family if she snitched. Now, you said she wasn't handcuffed, but she was handcuffed by fear.
Yes, and she knew they wouldn't have a problem hurting anybody.
I couldn't even go to work. I lost my job.
Not only that, the man who Shalina says killed the little girl was interviewed by police and released after questioning. Crime Watch Daily spoke to him by phone. He has denied any involvement of any kind in Christina's murder. Then Shalina found out Lamar took the rap, and she had to come forward.
I just want to tell him, family, I'm sorry. You know, that I waited so long. Because there's a man that's in prison for something he did not commit.
Oh.
And it's the right thing to do.
Now Proctor is on a mission to free Munson. He's teamed up with David Moran, the director of the Michigan Innocence Clinic. When I say the name Lamar Munson to you, the first word or words that come to mind are what?
Wrongfully convicted and should be freed as soon as possible.
Right, there we go, bam.
That he's still in, given the evidence.
Right,
that we found in the
right.
last few years
Okay.
of the case.
But what about Munson's confession to the killing?
His confession was demonstrably false. The confession that was typed by the detective, not written by Lamar, but typed by the detective and then signed by him, and Lamar says he was restricted to signing it.
And then another bombshell.
Oh.
The autopsy reveals the true cause of death.
So the confession is that he stabs her to death. But 12 days later, the autopsy came back from the Wayne County Medical Examiner, and it showed that actually the victim was beaten to death. And so
Oh my
that is
gosh.
a
Jesus.
very strong indicator of a false confession.
In this crime scene photo, you can see the ceramic toilet tank lid is missing. Moran says that is the likely murder weapon. Christina had been stabbed as well, but that was not the cause of death. The report shows she had been bludgeoned to death.
There's not one word in Lamar's confession about being restricted to death. If he's the guy who murdered Christina Brown, why would he be the one running around the apartment buildings, frantically saying, if somebody, please call the police? Why would he stick around? He's dealing drugs at the time. The drug dealers don't normally want to stick around and talk to the police. He stuck around and waited for the police to come.
Moran also discovered that cops had lifted 2 fingerprints from the toilet tank lid. One matched Christina Brown. The other was a mystery. It was at the same time that a determined Shalina Bentley reached out to Bill Proctor to tell her story.
So then our focus shifted from just finding out was there a fingerprint on the toilet tank lid to did the fingerprint match the man that she knew?
Wow.
This report shows Detroit police tested the fingerprint in 2015 to see if it belonged to Robert Lewis. The results?
It matched.
And just to add more fuel to the fire of outrage, the homicide inspector who oversaw Lamar's so-called mea culpa, Joan Gagosian, was later implicated in several potential coerced confessions. Who failed Lamar Munson?
The Detroit police failed Lamar Munson. The Detroit police failed, more importantly, Christina Brown.
Yes.
Because the Detroit Police Department forensically simply could have followed a blood trail from the murder scene up to Shalina Bentley's apartment. He should be paying for it and not Lamar Munson.
Bill Proctor
Alrighty,
set out
there
to
you
track
go.
down Lewis.
Love it.
Instead, he
Love
found
it.
his brother
Love
Raymond,
it. Love it.
who was reportedly
Great.
meeting with Robert in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Let's get them. Let's get the
There
bad
was no
guy.
sign of Robert.
I mean, how did you go about finding me where I was at?
What's been the toughest part? What's been the most frustrating?
To know that there's a prosecutor standing at the door with her arms folded saying, oh no, they already had their bite at the apple. I could wring their necks because the real bottom line is that bite at the apple led to the wrong conclusion. That's what's frustrating. To know that there is credible evidence that should lead to a new trial, that should lead to a review of past facts, that should be considered as new evidence. And then they don't do it? What the hell?
How does it feel
Right.
to stand up?
You're right, sir. You're right.
I wouldn't know it's right to the ends out that prison.
Mm.